And we are live. Hi, this is Dawn Nocera, and this is your monthly Women Think and Grow Rich Hangout, where we go deep diving into the consciousness of the principles of success as presented by Napoleon Hill. So, if you're watching from the outside, I am so happy to be here, and I apologize for being a couple minutes late. Um, But you know what? This is what we get to do, being entrepreneurs and small business owners, being together. It's why we do it, so we can take our kids to school when they miss the bus, which is what happened today. So happy that you're here and join from the inside. If you're watching from the outside, click the links to join on the inside. I can't wait to see you. Um, and we'll get started. I hope you were able to watch um, the video before the video that I had of the recording of this month's chapter. And I know that the reading was a little bit off. You know, I'm not like the greatest reader in the world, but the content is there. That was what I wanted you to get. I wanted you to be able to get the content to really hear what we're going to discuss today, these principles, and to give you that opportunity to hear these principles um, with a woman's voice too. So, so here we are. Hey girls. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Someone's muted.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Dawn. I was sitting nice listening to your reading the chapter, and then something happened to that. I don't know. It just kind of stopped and went weird, and now here we are. Hey.
And here we are, because as soon as I start the live event, it replaces the video.
Oh, okay.
So I was giving you guys, I was like letting you listen to it while you're waiting, and then yeah, so you can listen to it.
I like that. I love when you read to us, Dawn.
Well, I love that you like it. Because like I said, I was listening to it. I had to drive my son to school this morning because I told them all, like, guys, you know, I need you to get ready. I have a meeting. They have a 2-hour delay this morning. And he never misses the bus, really, but he did this morning.
Oh.
I'm like, wait a minute. I said, you realize I have to be back here and ready in a half an hour? And he's like, yeah, I know. So I post, you know, and he felt really bad. It was not his intention. He just forgot that they come 10 minutes earlier than normal on Wednesdays. So he was.
Big deal.
I know, but anyway, so we're here. But I was listening to the audio. I was listening to myself reading. As I was driving, I made him listen to it as well. And it was so funny because I can really hear, you know, like I can hear the words that I missed, you know, because there's one place in the very beginning, and I'll just share this, that it's supposed to be that no man has discovered you know, why this is, like, why we can communicate with infinite intelligence through our subconscious mind. But I was just like, every man knows this. Anyways, yeah. One little piece, but the content is still there. So I'm glad that you appreciate it. This is a part of what I'm doing for the Hidden Riches email course, which this is a part of. So I'm just going to give you, I think, the update in case anybody's watching this and wants to know what that's about.
Yeah, what is that about?
So all of the videos that we've done and all the readings that I'm doing, I'm just putting them into a very simple e-course. So you can listen on demand, but it comes out once a week. So instead of it being 15 months to complete the program, you complete it in 15 weeks. And it just includes the reading. It includes our instruction, and then it includes a group, a community. So, and I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do that on Google Plus or Facebook. Facebook seems to be the best place to do groups.
Well, did you hear about Google Plus?
No.
Yeah, I read an article yesterday. I've been hearing a few things the last few months about how it totally missed its mark, how Google's going to be dismantling it. They will keep Hangouts, but they're going to take away G+.
The whole G Plus thing is going to go away?
It's just it didn't do it. They said dismantle it and kind of pick things from it, but it didn't take off with its expectations.
Yeah,
it didn't meet the expectations that it had. And I've talked, I don't want to take too much away from Women's Think and Grow Rich, but you know how I've said, oh my God, like it's way too hard to even figure out how to message somebody in your circle.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I can read. I'm not illiterate.
Right. We're brilliant
I'm
people.
challenged, but I'm not severely challenged.
Right. So thanks for bringing that up. So that solves my problem. It'll be a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And it's simply just for people who want to continue the study of this book, and it's $97. It's not a huge investment. And I'm giving the reading of Napoleon Hill's book, and then the conversation that we're having here, as well as there's an email included that helps bring those two things together. So the email comes out once a week. If you sign up on Monday, then you'll get I believe it comes out, the next lesson will come the following day. You'll get an email, and then the lesson comes the following day, and then every week after that you receive a new lesson for 15 weeks. So
that's beautiful.
It's really a good way to get a hold of this material, listen to it, understand that there's Napoleon Hill's consciousness, that what he was talking about when he was writing this, and then I'm bringing in this deeper understanding, and I'm calling it, it's hidden riches, and it's evolving the consciousness of Think and Grow Rich. So that's what we're doing, because that's what we're doing together. We're evolving this consciousness of the understanding of what these principles mean for us as women. So that's what we're doing in the e-course, and for me it's going to be, I'll be participating in the group, but I won't be as hands-on coaching so it'll give me some time to do some coaching with my other clients. But I still wanted to get this thing out there and make sure everybody has the opportunity to learn from me about Think and Grow Rich, because it's really
so important. So Dawn, I want to ask this of you, because I've mentioned this hangout to so many people I know, and because for whatever their own reasons are, we're not able to come on, but showed an interest, right?
Right.
So you email me something about your course so I can send it off to these people?
Yep, absolutely.
It will work for them because it's at their own pace.
Yeah,
right?
and it's on your own pace, meaning that you get the link for the course material every week. So every week you have that that lesson right there. So you don't have to join at a certain time, and they're also going to get when we're live together too. So they'll get the opportunity to come on live and watch it, but they won't have to go to Google Plus, because I have it all on my website. So
right.
Yeah. Yep. It makes it really easy. And I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to get this material out to more people and do it in a way that it's time for me to let it be more free, free for more people to get it, and free from my hands-on-ness. And it's huge value because we're doing this, we're doing the work together, we're going through these principles, and we're understanding them. The conversation that we're having here on these hangouts is really super valuable, because it's not just me talking. It's you guys responding, and you raising the consciousness, and you're asking questions, and you're coming at it and then you're offering your inspirations, your ahas, and your life experiences too, which makes everything just yeah. So So this, yeah, take a deep breath. So this week we're talking about the subconscious mind. And when I misspoke on Monday saying we're going to talk about intuition because we're not. We'll talk about that next month. But the subconscious mind, I don't want to gloss over it, and I don't want to just jump into the next chapter without this chapter being given the importance that it has, because this chapter, if you can really understand this chapter, you understand why this whole book, Think and Grow Rich, works with the principles, with the formula that Napoleon Hill had put out, with the new consciousness, this evolving consciousness that we are bringing to the conversation for women. And this chapter really helps you understand, why does it all work? You know, when we're understanding that the subconscious mind is the connecting link between you and me individually and infinite intelligence, meaning God, Holy Spirit, whatever, you know, you are calling that, and really the connecting link between all of the things that are in that inner space, that inner world, where there's, you know, angels, and Napoleon Hill did not talk about those things until much later. The connecting link between our board of directors, Napoleon Hill talks about that in the very final, maybe next chapter on the intuition. So he's talking about the board, you know, bringing together your imaginary board to help you in your endeavors. Your subconscious mind is that connecting link between you and infinite intelligence. And when you think about the word infinite intelligence, that's all intelligence. That's supreme mind. That knows all. So when we're understanding this idea of our subconscious mind and understanding what it is, we understand that it's truly our access point to all knowledge that's ever been, ever was, and ever will be created in the future. So this chapter then, if you're reading it and we looked at the chapter on sex transmutation last week, which was really about last month, how do we handle the emotions as they come up? How do we transmute a lower vibration to a higher vibration within us? This chapter is about how do we access infinite intelligence, you know, and it's not how do we necessarily access it, but he's talking about how do we how do we communicate the messages that we want to communicate with our subconscious mind, and so it gets to infinite intelligence. If you get this chapter, you understand why prayer works and why sometimes it doesn't. You really will understand how healing works, how really any piece of faith works is through this subconscious mind. So at this point, I'm going to open up the floor, open up the hangout for questions. Do you have your own ahas about this chapter on the subconscious mind? Any life experiences that you want to share that will help expand this consciousness? Because this truly is why it all works. Your subconscious mind, the mind that you use every day to think about, your problems or your successes, or think about what you're going to do. The subconscious beliefs and the subconscious mind that's underneath there, that's where you are connecting to infinite intelligence. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear, what is it?
Well, you know, Dawn, I for the first time ever I decided to outline the chapter, and I took I made a sentence for every paragraph.
Yes.
And I so wish I had done this before, because I just see how it's so precise and so much of such an instruction manual with practical steps. And I think sometimes about the subconscious as being some scary, big, nebulous place. And it's like it's a way station, or it's the place where you go to connect with infinite intelligence. And it's just steps to have that be successful. It's like makes me think of that picture of Michelangelo and God on the Sistine Chapel, and like this is the touch point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've done so much studying on the subconscious mind. When the book, Seven Keys to Freedom, is truly a handbook on how to use your conscious mind in a way that influences your subconscious mind. And because it's the ultimate guide to developing the mind. But there's the pieces of this. There's the conscious mind, which is that if you think of yourself as thinking, right? If you think of yourself as thinking, the conscious mind is the part that does the thinking. Mm-hmm. It's the part that looks for tools in order to solve problems. Okay, so then there's the subconscious mind, and that's that place that is where all of our programming lies. Mm-hmm. And this is really what we're up against, is our programming when we're trying to move into a new direction. And we have been doing so much great work together as a group, together as mastermind partners, through conversations, through coaching, where you understand that it doesn't have to be really difficult, but know that you're up against these things. I mean, and it's not that you're up against them, like you can't penetrate those belief systems. It's that you have those tools, and you know how to manage, and you know how to get into the deeper truth of who you are, and know that, guess what? You're always connected to infinite intelligence. And I think that's the biggest misconception that people, even when they're starting to read this chapter, they think, I have to do something in order to figure out how to influence my subconscious mind so I can communicate with infinite intelligence. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is one of the hidden secrets that we're talking about evolving the consciousness of even the subconscious mind within this chapter is, guess what? If you can start from this place of saying, oh, relaxed, I am in direct communication with infinite intelligence. That feels way more expansive, gets you out of the zone of trying to figure it out, and even trying to figure out which tools to use, like even in the book. And it releases, it sort of loosens the soil, right? It loosens the soil of the beliefs that are so embedded in there, right? It just sort of like allows those beliefs to be there without having as much control or meaning. Okay? So that is what we're talking about. Hello?
Hello?
We are talking about Think and Grow Rich.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. Do you have something to add to the conversation?
1 second, please.
Help me out with the control room. I'm going to... There you go.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
1 second, please.
We're talking about Think and Grow Rich.
Hello?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yes,
All
can
right,
you hear me?
I got you off the camera. I'm gonna move you out of here since we're having communication problems. So, best of luck and best wishes to you. Not sure. There you go. Bye.
There we
Goodbye.
go.
So, anyways,
That was fun.
that was fun. That's always nice to get a visitor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the conversation though, I want to open that up now to say what is it that comes to mind after reading this chapter even more? What are your ahas, or how are you going to look at your life differently? How does this help you pursue? I don't even want to say pursue. I want to say, how does this help you be more of who you are as you're doing the things that you're meant to do, as you're going through these principles, as you're reading your statements of desire in a very um, expansive way? How does this help you move forward?
Mm.
I've got the event page up too. If there's someone watching who wants to like comment from the event page, um, we're taking comments there too. So love to hear what you have to say.
I feel like it's time to acknowledge this position which I and we have, being present with infinite intelligence and having this way station or repository that's completely available. It's in use all the time, day and night, whether I think so or not. But the fact that it's there and like availing myself of this, like you said, coming from this relaxed place, knowing I am in direct communication with it, and then like feeling into that with this kind of excitement and completely fresh exhilaration, even just like, okay, I can create what is in me to create. Let's go, kind of just like, okay, it's like a new starting point.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, a new starting point, because when we're reading things and we're discovering more of who we are, everything should always feel like a new starting point. Because we're releasing everything. That's that relief that Abraham Hicks talks about. It's like when you can feel the relief from the limitations or even the rules we put on ourselves. We're moving into a space of much less resistance. And I think that that's what you're talking about, Robin. I think that's what you're talking about, Robin, is being in that space of no resistance.
Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Like just reading this today, it just opened a whole new kind of resonance for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love what you're saying, Robin. Like, I like, what do you mean you outlined this chapter? Like, what do you mean by that? Number one, we'll get into that after, but I just love what you're saying and where the space in which you're coming from.
Yeah, it's like this kind of feeling of being in resonance with infinite intelligence, and like knowing that any sense of not being is simply coming from an untrained subconscious. It's a subconscious that is reflective of everything that is there. And if it is reflecting something other than what I want, it is simply because of a lack of persistence and tapping into my desire. All of the tools are there, lying there. It's like with the hammer and the nails and the screwdriver, they're all lying on the floor, and I forgot to use them.
Yeah. I mean, it's so, so, so powerful. And, I'm going to ask you, Robin, because you have it right in front of you, and I want to celebrate if you don't mind, would you mind just kind of reading off a few of those, the summaries that you wrote, so you can acknowledge your resonance, and I can feel that this is going to be a very powerful thing for us and everyone who's listening to really get this, and then maybe inspire them to do that for other chapters as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So there were 4 segments of this chapter. The first one, the intro, I have 6 sentences. There were 6 paragraphs. It's a field of consciousness like a filing cabinet.
Yeah.
It's plantable with priority given to thought plus emotionally felt desire plus faith. It's we use the 6 steps of the desire chapter, which is chapter 2, plus the info in the planning chapter, which is chapter 7, in conjunction with this field of consciousness. The subconscious mind transmutes desire to physical equivalent day and night, drawing on infinite intelligence. It's not 100% controllable, but it's highly suggestible. And there's a reminder, read again the auto-suggestion chapter. And it seems to be the passageway to the Almighty, to infinite intelligence. That's just the intro.
Yeah. So that, I'm going to just kind of take a break there and say, Robin, or Andrea, does that give you an understanding of what she was doing with the chapter?
Yes, yes.
Just summing it up. One of the things that I wanted to point out and bring about is that one of the major pieces of this chapter, and I know, Robin, that you heard it, read it, and maybe even summarized it, is that the emotion that we put into our thoughts, that we're giving the subconscious mind, and we're doing it all the time. So like right now, the emotions that I feel are sending a message to infinite intelligence about what to bring me more of. Right? But the point and the piece that I really wanted to highlight and impress upon your subconscious is that it's the emotion that turns the thought into divine action. Meaning it's the emotion that turns the thought into thought action that makes that go, straight to the infinite intelligence, so it can be acted upon by infinite intelligence to bring you what it is that you're asking for. So although we get so excited and we want to take action, and do things all the time, it's actually our emotion, our feelings, how we're feeling, that creates the thought action that makes the whole universe respond and bring us and give us an exact match to that emotion, to our vibration, to our thoughts. And that's truly what's happening within this chapter. And you read this over and over and over again for this piece of truth, and what he's saying about the subconscious mind is, I can't say it enough. It's your emotions, how you feel. And this is one of the reasons why I say the work of self-appreciation is so important, because it gets you in touch with how you truly feel. It allows you to be resistance-free, loving yourself, and pretty much just telling the universe that, oh, I love myself, I'm feeling amazing, bring me everything I need to be more amazing and to share my gifts in the world with zero resistance. So when we're thinking about the actions that we want to do all the time, and I'm a big proponent of action, like, yes, take action, but the action that we're taking should always come from this place of wanting to express ourselves, wanting to connect, wanting, like always from this place of of where our willingness and our focused direction meets the divine will's willingness to support us, because we're in alignment. We are aligned action. When you take action that's not remembering that you're constantly connected to infinite intelligence, when you're taking action from a place that's other than that, it becomes hard work, really, really hard. And the fruits of your labor are not, you may get fruit, but they may be rotten apples instead of like a batch full of beautiful red apples. The action in this chapter is the emotion that we put on the thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's the action. That's your spirit in action. Got it? I mean, I just, okay.
Yeah, well, there's the little part at the very end that says that about radio. Should I read it?
Yeah, go for it.
The method by which you may communicate with infinite intelligence is very similar to that through which the vibration of sound is communicated by radio. If you understand the working principle of radio, you of course know that sound cannot be communicated until it has been changed into a rate of vibration which the human ear cannot detect. So when we're talking about the subconscious, we're talking about that we're, through emotion, we're taking what we want and putting it into a different language up to the infinite intelligence. That's like a radio vibration upgrade. The radio sending station picks up the sound of the human voice and modifies it by stepping up the vibration millions of times. Only in this way can the energy of sound be communicated through space. After this transformation has taken place, the energy, which originally was in the form of vibrations of sound, is carried to radio receivers, and these receiving sets reconvert that energy to its original rate of vibration, so it's recognized as sound, and that's when you're saying it comes back from infinite intelligence in some actionable way.
Yeah. Yeah. And from my experience, what comes back to us from infinite intelligence is most often not exact, unless we are so evolved that we're manifesting, like we think ice cream and we manifest ice cream, okay? Because we love ice cream so much. But in between like being in the state of the vibration that's a perfect match to the thing that you're asking for, and as you're growing into this vibration by feeling really good about it, we're given opportunities. So what comes back to us is an opportunity to raise our vibration up to the place where we can have it. Does this make any sense to you?
Yes, because that's the thing of sometimes that opportunity that comes back looks like something horrible.
Yes.
And that's the opportunity to hold that position again and say, I mean it.
Yes. Yeah. And we can, and so there's an example that's bubbling up, and it's not mine. So I think, Robin, do you have an example you want to attach to this? Because I can feel it. I have some, that I can talk about, but do you have an example you want to share?
Well, I think just before that, that 3 feet away from gold thing, we do get tested, and as far as a specific, well, I've probably come up with many,
right,
where it's something comes up that makes me say, forget it. This is just not what I had in mind, when I just need to stay on it. You must have one that you can grab.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, I'm thinking of just so many different times, so that, and it's always an opportunity for us to raise our vibration before we take action on the thing. That's the thing that I want to impress upon, is like to feel differently about the opportunity that comes to us.
Yeah. Well, for example, I did have a hangout that I set up, and it was a big deal for me to set it up and get myself into a position of being seen, and suddenly I was like, I just don't want to do this. And I almost didn't, but I did. And then the exhilaration that came with it, and then the unexpected goodness that came with it was, yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. So
the fear came in.
Yeah.
You dealt with it. You shifted it to a
Or I
different
went
vibration.
into it. I just went into yeah. I said, okay, hi, here we go anyway.
And that's, so I love that you're doing this and you're in it right now, Robin, because it gives such a great example of, how the opportunity comes, how we can feel it, whatever it is, and the whole point is to stop resisting it, right? To stop resisting the movement forward, to stop resisting our growth and expansion. And that's what we normally will do, and you're just not resisting. And that not resisting looks like fear coming up, and you surrendering to it. Like that's what feels like to me that's happening. Like you're not fighting it. You're like, okay, here you are, but I'm moving through it. And as you move through the fear, recognize that it's there, feel it like you're doing. You're bringing in, and I don't even know that you're feeling it in a very positive way. So you are regaining your power over the fear. And this is like the trickiest trick in the universe, that anytime you name anything, it becomes powerless.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like so. Okay, so when you name fear, when you name your emotion, you can actually give it a funny name like Fred. Oh, there's Fred again. Fred, fearful Fred, showing up. Hi, Fred. But the moment you give it a name, even the emotion of fear, naming it, wow, I'm like, it's here, it loses its power over us, because I'm going to tell you, this is a spiritual principle, and I'm going to cry thinking about it, because I get like that. But there is power in naming, and in the Bible, God named things, right? He gave them their power. He gave them power from Him, instead of having them come, instead of where, you will meet somebody and they have a name that's very powerful, and then just by their name, you're like, oh, it can have an effect. Doctor at the beginning of a name gives it a different vibration, right? Someone has doctor. You have some sort of respect for some kind of work that they've gone through in order to get that. It's a long journey to get doctor in front of your name. And for other people, it's different. It's different. But this naming thing gives us, when we're able to name something, we become the person who has the power over it. We name our children. They don't grow up and name themselves. That would be frightening. Like, what's its name? When's its name going to appear? When will I be giving? And then they come to a place where they get to choose. In some religious places, they get to choose the name that they have. So, yeah. And the other thing I was thinking of is, like, when I was young, there would be times when I would have like naming people, like giving people nicknames. Have you ever done that? Like, gave people nicknames?
Yeah.
It's actually a powerful. Like, you become like somehow magically in relationship to somebody that you give a nickname to. Does this make sense?
Yeah. You take a different relationship with something when you put a name on it, and you are in charge of what that is.
Exactly. And I remember when I was like on the basketball court, and like when I was in 6th or 7th grade, I was a horrible shooter. I was so short, you know, like I had everything against me as far as being able to play basketball. But I could defend the ball like you would not believe. And the best basketball player at that time was a year younger than me at school, so I must have been in 7th grade or 8th grade. And I remember him going, "Yo, D," and he just kept calling me D. Like I was defense. I was that. And
Wow.
I felt so seen by this person. And I also always had this kind of like reverence and respect. He gave me this name, D. And now for the rest of my middle school years, I had a lot of that. You know, people would call me D. Not my name's
Wow.
Dawn. It's fine, but they were calling me D for the power of the defensive action.
The defense.
That's deep.
So, and but this power, and it was sort of like he gave me power, right? This is a little bit this is such a subconscious thing, but you can you can be the power giver or the power taker just by naming something. But you have control over it now. And I'm not saying he had control over me, but there was definitely a relationship that I had. We are not in relationship with our fears, with our emotions, with any this until we um, are okay with them. And I think just simply naming our fears is something that is, you know, even naming fear is just a wonderful way to, excuse me, to give it, like, to downplay its power over us.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you, and I may feel something, but I'm not. I choose and I choose again to be not bullied or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we can talk about that in a couple chapters. We're going to talk about the 6 ghosts of fear. This will be a great conversation to move with that. But within the subconscious mind, you know, we're talking about emotions and feeling them and being in control over our emotions. We are truthfully able to be in control and to be fully in our own power. And sometimes it's just as simple as even in sports, when I'm helping athletes, when I've done this in the past, I used to work with a lot of athletes. I would help them create their trigger emotion. And this is something that you guys can do, and I hope you do this. It puts you in that winning state, the state that you feel amazing. You find something, and I may have talked about this in another chapter. This is perfect for this chapter on the subconscious mind. If you can feel yourself in an instant when those times come up where you're feeling fearful, give yourself either a trigger emotion, something that you can say that just instantly puts you in that state of vibration of your magnificence, of your powerfulness, of your I can do itness, of your yes to where you're going, of your I'm so connected to infinite intelligence. You know, like something that you can do. And you know, I'm clapping my, not whatever they're called, clicking my fingers.
Snapping.
Because it's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can simply snap your fingers and be in a state.
Mm.
You know, baseball players tap the baseball, you know, the home plate when they get up to the plate. And sometimes just that first tap is just enough to put them in that state. You know, for others, they have to say a mantra. But, you know, it's a physical thing. If you can do something physically different with your body, sit up straight. My voice is gone out. This is hilarious. This is like I'm feeling like all the subconscious, you know, like trash coming out and like letting go, which is awesome. But you can sit up straight, and then that puts you in a different state. You know, just do something to put yourself in a state that says, this is my mastery. This is my connection with the you know, infinite intelligence. This is how easy it is for me to remember that I'm always connected. It's just such a simple tool, but changing your state. And Anthony Robbins talks about it a lot, if you listen to him, about the state change and what like getting working yourself up into a state, like into a state. And this is what Napoleon Hill's talking about in this. We as women do it much differently than men do.
Oh, I just love that you said that, because I was thinking about Anthony Robbins and that whole power move thing, and this trigger emotions. It is a more elegant realization that I am already connected to to infinite intelligence. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, and we do it so differently, and the thing and what turns us on, what activates us, is so different than what does it for men.
Mm.
So you find your place of where you know that nothing can stop you. You find yourself in that state of, I so love what I'm here to do in the world. Find your state of I'm 100% always connected. I can never be disconnected from infinite intelligence. I love being here. I love the work I do. Love this. I love being here with you. I'm sharing messages with people. I love helping them learn to appreciate themselves and their work. I love transforming lives through the work I do. I love this life. I love being here. I love doing this, and this is how I change my state. I don't do it by hitting a bat on the floor. I don't do it, and I have a ritual in the state every day, and it's a self-appreciation ritual. You would have guessed, but it's really about connecting with me. So find yours, do your thing, figure out how you can get yourself in a state that just says, I am connected, always connected to infinite intelligence. I have access to every bit of knowledge that I need at any given time. I'm always in the right place at the right time. And not from a state of being in questioning these things. Allow yourself to get into a state of knowing that all of the things that you're saying is true, because you read this chapter, because you understand the subconscious mind, because you have the power over your fears, because you can name them.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I am
Just
vibing
reminding
high.
myself that I'm always connected to infinite intelligence, and that I have this little, I had a great word for it, but now I don't see it, but yeah, the passageway or whatever. It's just brilliant. Super great.
Yeah, it's like an escalator or an elevator, think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can move up your floors, right?
Yeah.
You can move up or you can go down, whichever the direction is that one needs.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to squash the negatives, and you're going to raise the positive vibration, the positive frequency.
And that's truly what the subconscious mind, this is what this chapter on the subconscious mind is talking about, and this is the magic of this, is that our vibration, he's not talking about anything else. Go read this chapter again and again and again. How you feel when you are doing the things you're doing determines the outcome, what comes back to you. You know that there's people that work hard all their lives, hating every minute of what they do, and make minimal changes in their lives.
And they just keep getting more of that.
And they just keep getting more of that. There's people, and there's people, and they will be so angry, even more, so they're creating more anger for themselves of, why am I working so hard and nobody's acknowledging me? I would much rather have somebody with a positive attitude working for me than somebody who works hard and doesn't have a great attitude. They're like toxic waste in your business. So, yeah. Man, I love this. I love you guys being here. I so appreciate this whole conversation.
Yeah, this has been great. I got awakened at 5:30. Of course, it's, early on the West Coast, and I was going to get up at 6 and be ready, and I got awakened at 5:30, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly right, because I wanted to really read the chapter better than, be better prepared than I have been, and I just feel great.
This is such a good point, like to be in the state of saying like I'm anticipating the lesson. I want to prepare. I mean, this is so self-honoring, so self-appreciating. So I am going to be in this 100%. I'm going to show up and I'm going to not only going to, take something out, but I'm going to put something in because I came full, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and I don't require that of anybody because at some point I have come to understand at some point your subconscious mind turns on a little switch and says, I am ready and I really want to do this for myself. So it just turns on. So I congratulate you and honor you for being awake at 5:30 and saying yes to something for you because it's not for me, right?
Yeah, correct.
It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with Andrea. It has to do with you, where you're going and what fills you up, and look at all the wonderfulness that you brought in with it today. So
yeah, and you're right, and it's like what time is it there now? 6:30 in the morning for you, Robin?
It's 7:30.
Oh, 7:30 now. Okay. Wow. Yeah, you brought a lot of stuff to the table. You see, the early bird catches the worm.
There's definitely something about when we begin to use our subconscious mind in a way that we understand that we're connected to infinite intelligence. And you listen to Napoleon Hill, you read Napoleon Hill, and he will tell you that sometimes the divine plan, because in the chapter on organized planning, if you remember, he said that plan comes to you after you've given infinite intelligence the goal.
Yeah, right.
We get so backward on this. We try to figure it out, and that's not the point.
Oh my God, I could cry right now.
We're supposed to wait for the plan. Sometimes the plan doesn't come. I'm in this whole holding. I feel like I'm in a holding zone, and I will tell you what. The more you try to figure it out, the more the universe is like going, how's that working for you? But you don't know this until you've tried it a lot of times, until you've actually, set a goal and pursued it and hit your head up against the wall and you've done it and you decided that, you move into understanding that it's so much easier than what you could possibly make it. That's what I'm here to help you guys understand and help you own in your own lives, because this is not, whatever this is for you, what you want, what you're trying to bring forth in the world, whatever you're trying to do, whoever you're trying to help is so much easier than you could ever try to figure it out yourself. So, yeah. Are you still there?
Wow. I just had this massive click, click, click. Wow.
Awesome.
And I'm thinking, I should have put my makeup on after this call.
Probably good.
But when you just brought back that chapter of the organized planning and the wording in which you just used today, just boom, click.
Yeah, that's why going through this and
over and over and over and over again, right? Because we started this 2 years ago through LinkedIn, through the conference line. Going to be coming up to 2 years, in May. I think when I first, and so you had already started. Yeah.
You've been doing this for years, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, anyway, so if you're interested, if anyone's watching and interested in joining the Think and Grow Rich, it's called Hidden Riches. The e-course is called Hidden Riches, and you'll get these videos once every week for 15 weeks. And along with their chapter reading and along with the like a little bit of content to pull the chapter reading together and the hidden riches together, you can go to my website and click on, I think there's just a little link at the top underneath Work With Me, and it says Women Think and Grow Rich. There's a link there. Anyways, I love you all. I'm going to turn the broadcast off, and I'm not sure if you're watching from the outside, you want to leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you thought of today's hangout and what are your ahas. I want to hear what your ahas are. I want to hear what your insights and inspiration are, and I want to hear your life experiences. How does this now change how you're going to experience life moving forward, or how does this verify something that's happened in the past? Because this chapter, once you get this chapter, life becomes so easy, because this is it. It really is all about faith and being able to take action, and this is the connecting link. So the subconscious mind is the connecting link. So until next month, we'll see you on the first Monday of April. Wow, I can't even believe it's April.
First Wednesday.
First Wednesday.
It's actually April 1st.
Really?
It's April
1st.
Fool's Day.
So we'll see you on April Fool's Day.
Yep.
Yes.
And
talking about the subject, the chapter will be the brain. Right?
yeah,
That's it.
it is the brain. Okay. We're
Yeah.
talking about the brain. And the brain, just to give you the heads up, is the sending and receiving station. So
Oh, I'm so excited.
we'll talk about that. But this chapter, get this chapter. If you haven't read it already, go and read it. Listen to my, the little reading that I did to see if that helps you get into that state of understanding. And I'm sending vibrations with my voice. I get this stuff. You don't have to get it as hard and don't have to do as much work, because I'm transferring like lots of loving energy and understanding along with my voice, so you can be activated to understand this without even having to spend 20 years reading it over and over and over again. So
Thanks for that investment.
yes. So anyways, see you then next month, and so much love and appreciation for you all. Thank you.